you're clicking this intro, you're doing something right because you're wanting to learn how to save money. And that is the number one thing here, because a lot of people don't want to save money. They want to spend money. So you're doing something right if you're getting this far. Just for a little proof here, to show why I know what I'm talking about. As you guys can see, I make between $800 and $900 a month just sitting in my high yield savings account. Number one tip, open a high yield savings account. If you don't have one, easy to make up. I have tons of videos on them. You can check them out on my profile, best ones, whatever. That's probably number one tip here. High yield savings versus regular savings, stuff like that. I've talked about it a million times. So we're just going to show you guys how much the median person in America has here by age group in their savings. So around the median is $8,000, but if you scroll here by ages and stuff like this, 35 is only 3,200, 35 to 44, 4,700, and it barely goes up over time. So a lot of Americans do not have money saved up. So it is a great thing to learn how to save money and make more money. Let's get on to some tips here. All right, number one thing we're going to want to do here is create a budget. It is very boring. A lot of people don't like to make a budget, but this is how you're going to determine where you're spending a lot of money and where you can cut back on or how to make more money. So number one, write in how much you make monthly, whether it's 3,000, 2,000, 10,000, etc. And then you go to your checking account and see all the money that comes up, and you add all that up for the month, and you see how much you're spending a month. And then this is where we can get into where you're seeing where you spend more, what you could cut back on, etc. Making a budget is definitely the best. So let's get on into replacements you can do. All right, here's just a great example here of how you can budget. For instance, if you have income, like let's say this is just a person who makes $4,800 a month at their job after taxes. You put in your rent, your car, your insurance, your credit card, your utilities, whatever other expenses you may have here. And then you're going to look at the big spenders here. Like, this is just an example here. Your credit card could be higher because you're going out, you're doing things, you're traveling. It could be way higher. You're spending more going out to eat, stuff like that. But in this case, it's like rent is $1,800. That is our big spender here. So, or the car or the credit card. So these are the main things you are going to want to cut back on if you're going to want to save more money, or you can make more money with a side hustle. And honestly, doing both is great here. But this is just a little example here of how you can budget. You don't have to do those crazy Excel sheets that people do. This is just a great way. Write down everything that came out of your account for the month and write what came into your account, so that way you get to see exactly what you can break down on. So let's go on and do some substitutions here with stuff that can help you get and save some money. All right, so as you can see from my example, and actually if we're doing it here, the average American spends $1,800 a month on rent, or if it's a mortgage, it's even more than that. So number one thing you're going to do is definitely get some roommates. If this is a big cost for you and stuff like that, move in with some roommates. Me, as soon as I got out of college, I got a 9-to-5, was making $45K a year. That was 3 years ago. I know it's before everything got inflated, but I had 3 roommates where I only had to pay $650 a month. This was massive because if I was renting a single bedroom, I would have been paying what, $1,400, $1,500 a month. So that cuts down my payment $800 a month, and that saved the $9,600 a year just because I could live with some roommates. And it was still fun because, you know, I live by myself right now, and honestly, living with roommates kind of sucks, but at least you're around people and stuff like that, and you're saving money. So that is the number one thing you want to do. And let's get on to number 2. All right, number 2 on this list, a lot of people aren't going to like this. It is going to be buy a used older car. If we're looking here, it looks like the average American spends about $750, or if you're getting a used $500 a month on a car payment, whereas you could just buy an older car. Me personally, I bought an old 2007 Infiniti. I bought an 07 Infiniti for $10K in cash. It was paid off for. I was good. I didn't have a car payment, and not having that $600, $800 payment saved me so much money over the long term. That car lasted me a long time. It did great, and when I had enough money, I bought a better car in cash as well. So that is definitely what you're going to want to do. I know it might suck, and a lot of people are like, but I want the new features. No, you don't. You want to be saving some money. This is what we're doing. Buy whatever you can afford. And honestly, that car, it might have some problems, but it's going to be better than paying $600, $700, $800 a month and just throwing your money away every month. And you got to maintain the stuff and pay insurance along with that. It's just a nightmare. So try to cut back on the car costs because they are probably America's #1 wealth killer. All right, number 3 here. We're going to go over some substitutions on things that you should not be spending. This is going to go for like groceries and stuff like this, going out to eat and stuff. We're going to be showing you how much you can save, like coffee, let alone just coffee. So let's get into some numbers. All right, number 1 here, we're going to get to coffee. First off, people go to Starbucks and spend $5-6 a day. A lot of people spend more than that, but we're just going to go with $5 a day on that. You go every week on your way to work. That's 5 times, and you do it for 52 weeks a year. So you're spending $1,300 on your Starbucks runs. Whereas you can buy, as you can see, 96 K-Pods for $49 here. So you times that by 3, that's $150 right there in K-Pods, and then the creamers you're going to use is going to add up a little more. So $150 plus some creamers, $100 in creamers is probably what you're going to spend for a year. Could be less than that, and you get $50 for that. So you're saving $1,000 a year just on coffee. And there's a lot of other things we can go with this. This is just an example of making stuff at home. It is way cheaper. Number 2 thing that you can save a lot on spending is definitely going to be eating out. I myself only spend about $400 a month on groceries. I do not eat out because I'm actually trying to lose weight right now and get a little shredded. So I'm on a little cut right now, so that could be that. But a lot of people, you go out to eat, you got a girlfriend or whatever, you're spending $50 a pop. If you're doing that twice a week, that's $100 a week. That's $400 a week off of that, and then plus the $400 you're spending. So you could be saving $400 or $500 a month by just not going out to eat. And there's people that do a lot more than that. Actually, if we look here, looks like 56% of Americans eat out 2 to 3 times a week. Whether that's McDonald's or that, you're getting worse food, stuff like that. You can definitely save a lot more money. I've seen people on TikTok feed a family of 4 for under $10. There's a dude who does it all the time. $10, that's only $320 a month on food for family. People just they want the convenience. Just go home. It takes 30 minutes to cook and stuff like that and clean. It's super easy. This is definitely, and let alone we're going to talk next on some DoorDashing and stuff. I'm not even going to go numbers on this, but DoorDashing, it's awful because not only do they upcharge the price on the website, because if you actually look, they upcharge like 20% because that's how they make their profits and stuff like that. And you got to pay the delivery fee. The average, it costs like $30 to get some food, usually, is what the numbers were saying when I was looking it up. Stop DoorDashing. It's an awful way. You can save a lot of money on food. It eats me. I understand once a month, DoorDash, you don't feel like cooking. I get it. But don't do it every week. All right, next on the list, we're going to make a promise to ourselves to be frugal. We are going to be reviewing our budget and our statements on our bank accounts every month, seeing what we're spending and seeing how we can cut back spending. You can also see how to make new forms of revenue. Like you could DoorDash, for instance. That's something. You can make YouTube channels. You can find ways. There's so many ways to make money out there nowadays with the internet and everything. Even if it's just babysitting, find ways to make more money and find ways to save more money. Because again, you're wanting to save money in this video. This is how we're going to do it. And you're going to check yourself every month, and you're going to make notes of what you did wrong and how you're going to improve upon that. And finally on this list here, we're coming to the final part. We're going to make a vow to ourselves to stay out of debt, because getting into debt just kills people's dreams. You see people that are like 100K in debt with student loans, and then next thing you know, they're 300, 400K in debt. Get yourself out of debt. If you're not out of debt already, it's the best way, because you don't have to pay those crazy interest rates of like 23% on like credit cards and stuff like that. But get yourself out of debt. Keep yourself responsible, and you'll do great with these things. I hope this video helped. I'm just showing a few ways you can save some more money. But yes, you can save about 10K a year doing this. Or even if it's not that, you can easily see how you can make more money or how you can save more money. As the point of this video, it's pretty easy. That budget that I did earlier in the video on Paint took me like 2 minutes. Just review your bank accounts, see what's going in and going out, and see what you're spending on your credit card and debit cards, and be like, did I really need to eat out? No, like I took the family of 4 out and it cost $100. Did we need to go to Chili's? Yeah, it's fun to go to Chili's every now and then, but do you need to be going every week? No. You can go make a pound of beef at home for everyone in a burrito and cost only $15-20 to make for the whole family, and you saved $80 right there, and do that every month. That's a lot of money. So little things like that, just trying to show you guys how to save money, and I hope this helped. And if you made it this far, comment a big fat W in the video, because this was a little rant for me. But hopefully I'll see you guys in new videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.